So we're gonna make a cross today, God willing. And I'm just cutting off a piece of clay thicker than I need. And I'm going to roll it, maybe not. I guess we're going to roll it on the wood.
Do you want me to tape the whole thing down?
No, I
Oh,
think I can do it here. That should be enough weight, we'll see. And it can be however thick anyone wants it to be, and however big anyone wants it to be. That really doesn't matter. You know what? I'm going to leave my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, much better.
So is this, are you making the strips that you're gonna cut right now?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, so we're getting to a thickness that we can make the strips. Now I have tools at home to make rounded strips, but for this video we're just gonna do the square, which is one of the photos that I provided. And we're looking to have no air bubbles in the clay. That's the most important thing.
What happens if you find an air bubble?
When you fire it, it will explode in the kiln.
But if you find one when you're rolling it out, is there
You
something?
can just pop it
Okay.
with a sharp point and then smooth it over, and it'll be fine.
All right.
Okay, so when I make these, I always put paper towel down because they're going to shrink. And when it's 15% shrinkage, when it shrinks, it will break if it's sticking to the surface that it's on.
Okay.
So I always just put paper towel down and just wet it slightly.
So the board that you're using, that goes into the kiln with the cross on it?
No,
No? Okay.
no, once the cross is glazed and hard, it will go in the kiln
Okay.
on its own merit.
Okay.
So we're going to just cut these. I made them kind of thick so that we can get a good look at what this is. Some longer ones. So the two shorter ones, I'll have sponges and stuff, or you can use any kind of a sponge you have at home to do this, just to smooth it down. Make it usable. And when we have it this way, then we're just going to take these and braid them. And then I kind of just put the ends a little bit together, smooth it all out, and we'll cut the ends when we're finished. Make them like each other.
So the water in the sponge, do you need a lot of water or do you need to squeeze most of it out?
You take most of it out.
Okay.
It's only for the purpose of smoothing out the clay.
Sure.
You can't even, if I do this, nothing will come
Okay,
out.
good.
Then I'm gonna take these two longer pieces And again, it's important to make this where it can shrink. Even if the paper towel tears, it's not a firm surface. So we're going to take the cross part. And I'm going to take this here.
So you said you could make it any size you want. It looks like yours is about maybe a 1/4 inch thick and about 1/2 inch strips, 1/2 inch strips wide.
Yeah, I think that's, where's our ruler? Let's find out. So they are a 1/2 inch thick and a 1/2 inch wide.
Okay.
And so then you just braid the cross. See that I'm falling off the end of my wood there. And so this can be however you want it to be. You know, we can take this, it's very usable material, you can do this as often as you want to.
It's really beautiful.
I mean, it turns out so pretty, and there's really not a whole lot of effort into it. I mean, it's
Right.
It's a really cool thing to make. So then I like to, and you can use a paintbrush. And I didn't bring a paintbrush, but you can use a paintbrush to make it attractive. You can, let this dry up a little bit. You can roll these too. You know, you can make worms if you don't care to have it square. You can roll this into round and then do the same thing.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't have to be the way I made it. But the idea is to keep it wet to start so that everything connects to everything else. And then I just give it a visual, like if the crossbars look like they belong to the body of the cross.
So you just trim it to the length that looks right for
Whatever,
your
yeah,
purposes.
Whatever, for your purposes, whatever you like. However it looks good to you. This is completely, I think these crossbars are a little long. I think this is a little high. Because it's all reusable, you know, so it really doesn't matter.
Sure.
And that's pretty much what it is. And then I wet it way down so that all the pieces come together and stay together. So what we ended up with was 12 inches by 10.
Okay. So the water acts kind of like a glue then
It does
to hold
act
it
like,
together.
it does act like a glue. And God willing, this will all stay together the way it looks now.
Okay.
You know, and that's why we keep it nice and wet to start, and why it's on paper, because this will shrink.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing will shrink. And if it would be on this or on the wood by itself, it would break wherever the stress point was.
Sure.
Rather than staying together. So I don't know what the rest of this process is, but once it's dry, then we would bisque fire it, then we would glaze, then we would high fire, and then I always put metal or something in the middle to make it decorative.
Mhm.
I have put INRI
Sure.
with little punch letters. I mean, that part people can do wherever they want.
They could carve it in with like a toothpick maybe or
Yeah,
something if they want to do
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Or I've already gone into the Play-Doh kits that my grandkids have. You know,
Yeah.
seriously.
Oh yeah,
use
those are great.
their stuff.
Great tools for that.
So this is what it ends up looking like.
It's beautiful.
And then the part that we put on the center will be where we put a hanger, or you end up putting a hanger on the back.
All right. So once people get to this point where they've finished it, they should just not touch it, right? Just let it.
Ideally,
It needs to stay flat.
keep it
and-
wet. The first day or so, it wouldn't hurt to just lay a piece of paper towel over it so that it all likes itself, kind of. I don't know how else
Okay.
to say it, but they
Sure.
all have to figure out how to get along here.
Right.
And but as you'll see it, as it dries, it will become whiter, and then you'll know, and it'll shrink up this paper towel. It's really cool how that works, and then you'll know you're done.
Sure.
And we'll bisque fire them when they're completely dry.
Okay. Do you have roughly how long it would take for it to dry?
A week,
A week. Okay.
at least a week. The color change will be noticeable within a day or two.
Okay. All right.
And if it should happen that it cracks, if it's a small crack, you maybe can take a little clay and fix it if it's within the first day or so, but after that point, it just pays to put it all in water and start over.
Start over. Okay.
Because you can't repair
Okay.
that.
So you can take, before it's fired, at any point you could put it in water and
Yes,
reform
before
the clay
any
and use it
firing,
again.
Before before the first firing, you can reconstitute it back to this and start over.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
And we have glazes here, and I have some glazes at home, and I have a kiln, and I'm happy to share it.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions, Kelly? I mean, I've never done this before, so
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, for this, we'll be sending them home with, I think that's.
okay.
And if our viewers have any questions at all, can reach out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Provide
Reach out to us. We'll have the information for that. So.
Yes, definitely.
All
Happy to
right.
help.
All right. Well, thank you very
Cool.
much.
You are
Barb.
quite welcome. My honor.
That's it.